Another institution in the news this week, the FDIC. We're hearing that the FDIC fund is almost empty. What are the implications of that?
Okay, the FDIC, deposit insurance. Okay, deposit insurance. Remember what part of the banking system that takes care of? That takes care of you and I, our businesses. We deposit our money in the banks. Okay. Now, when the FDIC was created, Pete, it was created, I'm going to say, as an interim measure to deal with the problem of deposit insurance. Why do we need deposit insurance? We need deposit insurance because we have a fractional reserve banking system. We need deposit insurance because the banks take your $10 and they keep one and they lend out nine, and that's how they do their business. This is people. Everybody should read Silas Adams's book, The Legalized Crime of Banking, because the fractional reserve banking system is essentially a Ponzi scheme, and basically the FDIC is trying to be like the insurance policy against the Ponzi scheme that fractional reserve banking is. Not to fault the bankers. This is the system that that they grew up learning and having to deal with, but it's a system that's it's not sustainable. Sustainability, it's a big idea that we all believe in, not only for the economy and the resources of the economy, but if you don't have a money system that is designed for sustainability, designed to keep on going, it's going to fail. And we're right on the verge of it failing right now, and we need to start thinking about it. But the FDIC is trying to make up for the fact that they lend out, nine of the dollars that you put in there and only keep one for you in case you go in and ask for two. That's what that's all about. Eventually, the FDIC needs to be done away with. And the way it needs to be done away with, Pete, is the replacement of that fractional reserve, that risk-prone, pro-cyclical fractional reserve banking system needs to end. And if you take a look at what's in the American Monetary and Financial Security Act proposal that Dennis Kucinich, is talking about, it is a complete overhaul of the system and a replacement of fractional reserves with full reserve banking. If you have full reserve banking, that means that you basically have $10 in the bank. When you put $10 in there, it's not lent out, it's not relent out, and now you have the stability of the banking system that unfortunately a lot of people think we have now, and we can do away with the FDIC. So the answer for the FDIC is not how to figure out how to get another 50 or 100 or 200 billion dollars to deal with the banks that fail, because where does that money come from, Pete? Where does that money come from? Oh, the banks? What, do you think the stockholders of the bank put that money up, Pete? Do you think the bondholders of bank corporations put that money up, Pete? It's the depositors. It's the people who pay the fees into the banks that put that money up. So it all comes back to us. It's our money system. We're ultimately the ones that pay the whole cost of keeping it running, and we need to get it back in control of the people, which is why this piece of legislation that Dennis Kucinich is introducing can be seen to take care of all of these problems that I just mentioned. The inflation, deflation. It's the depositor's money system, Pete, and we need to get it back.
Well, and the fact that the taxpayer bails it out whenever it breaks, even though the Fed is independent. The Fed's independence. We're not supposed to know what's going on there until it breaks, and we got to pay the bill.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, there can be no other source. It's one of the things that kind of the ironies of political society is that once people really understand that everything really does evolve around the taxpayers, civil society evolves around the taxpayers, that we do have the power, we do have the power in this country. And all we need to do is begin to, be well informed and exercise that power. We can have a transformation to economic democracy, Pete, that is going to enable so many of these other social goals that we have, Pete. Because you know why? We can't save the environment because we don't have the money. We can't build the schools because we don't have the money. We can't have health reform because we don't have the money. And you know why we don't have the money, Pete? Because of the debt money system. That's why we don't have the money. So I like to have the debate with Ron Paul. Once we get out of fractional reserve banking, once we get to full reserve banking, we still need to have a money system. We still need to have money, created. What do we do? What do we do for the money supply? What are the options? And which ones are best? So hopefully that will be part of the debate. What I'm worried about, Pete, is that without preparing to get out of the debt money system, without anybody looking out there about who is actually controlling the strings behind the curtain that Barney Frank is keeping closed, those people that are controlling back there could actually tip us over the edge towards, either an international solution or chaos, and we will not gain from either one of those.
Let's leave it there for today, Joe. Folks, thanks for tuning in today, October 1st, 2009, for Coffee with Joe. If this brought up any questions, leave them down below in the blog, and we'll see you next week. See you, Joe.
Ciao.